They sat me on a folding chair, right by the restroom. The scent of disinfectant and cheap perfume drifted every time the door swung open. I stared at the golden chairs arranged in neat rows, velvet cushions, ribbons tied in perfect bows, and at the familiar faces seated there. Even distant cousins, people my sister barely knew, had better seats. And me? The maid of dishonor, apparently. When I caught my reflection in the silver serving tray, I didn't look angry, just still, controlled, the kind of stillness that comes before a storm. My sister, radiant in lace and pretense, laughed near the altar. Our parents fawned over her like she hung the moon. She looked at me once. A flicker of guilt crossed her face, then she looked away. I smiled back, the kind of smile that hides a secret. 10 minutes later, she would be in tears, and everyone would finally understand why. It started 2 years ago. She called me every night back then, crying about her failing relationship, her loneliness, her bad luck with men. I listened. I always did. I defended her when people called her manipulative. I told them they just didn't know her like I did. I was the big sister, the caretaker, the one who fixed everything she broke. And when she first met Daniel, my Daniel, she told me she was happy for me. She said he was too good for me, laughing as if it were a compliment. I should have paid attention to the way she said it, the way she looked at him longer than she should have. But love makes you blind. Family makes you stupid. I didn't notice the shift at first. The whispered texts, the way Daniel started locking his phone, taking late calls, smelling like someone else's perfume, hers specifically, a jasmine scent he'd worn since high school. The day I found the message, "I can't wait to see you again tonight, heart," I sat on the edge of my bed for a long time, phone in hand, heart not breaking, but hardening. I didn't confront them, not then. No shouting, no tears, just silence. Because revenge, real revenge, isn't impulsive, it's patient. I spent months pretending, laughing when I had to, offering to help with wedding plans when she announced her engagement to him. My sister marrying my ex. Everyone said how mature I was for giving my blessing. They didn't know I'd already started my quiet little project. Daniel's business was built on shaky ground, debts he'd hidden, investors he'd misled. My sister didn't know, but I did. I had access to everything, old emails, shared folders, paper trails from when we'd still been together. I didn't have to forge anything, I just organized the truth, and I sent it to the right people. While the invitations went out, lawsuits went in. While she chose centerpieces, he lost contracts. And when she spent thousands on the perfect venue, I smiled, knowing the deposit came from a bank account soon to be frozen. By the time their wedding day arrived, Daniel was smiling through gritted teeth. The wolf in his suit had already started to drown. Back to the folding chair. Guests laughed, cameras flashed. No one noticed me quietly stand and walk out. I didn't go far, just around the corner where the catering staff took a smoke break. I'd timed everything perfectly. At precisely 3:15, the event coordinator would receive a call from the venue's accounting office. Payment failure. At 3:17, the DJ's system, rented under Daniel's name, would be repossessed. At 3:20, a courier would arrive with court documents addressed to the groom. I waited, and at 3:21, I heard it. A scream. Then another. Then the chaos began. When I stepped back inside, she was standing in front of the altar, tears streaking her makeup. Daniel was gone, chased outside by 2 men in suits, the kind who didn't wait for explanations. The guests whispered. Cameras recorded. Her perfect day collapsing in real time. She saw me then. And in that moment, amid the ruined flowers, the shocked faces, the broken illusion, she knew. I didn't say a word, just met her eyes and gave a small nod. The same nod she used to give me when she'd win something that should have been mine. Now she understood what that felt like. Later, they'd find out the wedding was never fully paid for, that Daniel had been under investigation for months, that my sister's name was on the accounts, too. Sympathy faded quickly. The family, once so enchanted by her charm, began to distance themselves. And me? I went back to my quiet apartment, sat by the window, and finally exhaled. No satisfaction, no triumph, just peace. The kind that comes when balance is restored. People say revenge makes you bitter. Maybe, but sometimes it just makes you whole again. Because justice, when done right, doesn't need applause. It just needs precision. And I'd been precise.